supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
He's vengeance, ladies and gentlemen. He is not Batman. Batman does not exist in that movie. He's just vengeance, and that's all there is to it. And I am here tonight with a special guest, ladies and gentlemen. My man, Braden Timmons, joining me tonight. Braden, what's up?
What's up, everyone? How's it going? Excited to be here, man. I gotta say that opening was pretty freaking awesome, man. Like the opening, like just like hearing the "I'm Batman" and then "I'm vengeance."
There's so many more, but I couldn't find like the little clips. Like Ben Affleck, I don't think he ever actually says "I'm Batman," does he? I tried to look, I couldn't find anything.
Ben Affleck, no, because I feel like that would be like one of those clips on YouTube that you could find like literally like that.
Yep.
Like, I mean, you can search that and it would probably come up right away. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard him either say that he's Batman. You know, which is unfortunate because I feel like he had such a good voice for it too. So
I don't think I gave Batman versus Superman a fair shake the first time I watched it, and I didn't give Ben Affleck a fair shake, I don't think. But rewatching that, yeah, he's a pretty badass Batman, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, and you watched, because I know you were texting me the other day, you watched the Ultimate Edition this time, right? Like not the theatrical?
Yep.
Yeah, the Ultimate Edition makes it honestly so much better because the theatrical, there was so much that was cut out that was integral to the remainder of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, why would you cut that from a movie when it's so, I feel like that it wouldn't have gotten as much hate as it did. And I didn't hate the theatrical one either. And I'll talk more about that like when we talk about that. But I mean, like, I just think that it was because there were certain elements that was cut that, you know, I don't understand why Warner Brothers has a literal history of doing that. So I don't know.
And then I looked at the freaking Rotten Tomatoes score for that movie, and it's what, like 29%, I think it is.
It does not deserve that at all. It doesn't deserve that. So
it's really good. Like I don't know why people don't like it that much. I think it's really good.
Yeah, and Ben Affleck, in my opinion, everyone I feel like is like hating on all like the new like people that are cast as Batman since Christian Bale. Like Ben Affleck got a lot of hate like for like getting cast, but he was awesome. Robert Pattinson surely got a lot of hate like because of Twilight, you know.
Of course.
But I don't even want to hear it. I mean, I don't even want to hear anything about Twilight anymore. That's done. It's over with. Robert Pattinson has had such a great career since Twilight.
Yeah.
I mean, Twilight is like what got a lot of these actors established too. I mean, Anna Kendrick was in Twilight. Like,
yep, she was.
So, I mean, it's like, you know, these are movies that, you know, got a lot of these actors' careers started. So, I mean, is it cheesy? Yeah. But I mean, we're going to talk about Pattinson, I'm sure. I don't know like what your full thoughts are on the Batman. So I'm curious to see like where you're going to place this on your list. But I mean, like, I'm excited to talk about that because like, I just have not been able to get the film out of my head since I saw it on Thursday night. I've only seen it once and I want to see it again so badly. Like
that's the thing. Like, I mean, I walked out of the theater. I mean, obviously it was a great looking movie. I had a good time. But I wasn't as high on it as a lot of other people. I'd say I was probably like the lowest of anyone that I've talked to. But like you said, for some reason, I can't get it out of my head. Like I just keep thinking about the movie, even though I wasn't the hugest fan. I mean, maybe upon rewatch, I might like it a lot more. But that's the thing; it's just extremely long, and I'm not really a slow burn kind of person. So it takes a lot for me to probably go back and watch that, but I mean, eventually I will and hope to like it more. I don't have nothing against Robert Pattinson. I thought he was fantastic. It's just obviously it's more of a detective slow burn kind of thing, and that's not really my speed, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, and my dad is a huge Batman fan too. Big Batman fan. He went with me and some of my friends to see it. My mom went. My sister and her friend went. My mom fell asleep during it. So, she like woke up and like had like the most tired look in her eyes at the end. And she goes, dude, that was fucking painful. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. You fell asleep. Like she's not like also like there's like a certain time of night like that like if we start a movie or something, like my mom will pass out. And I feel like I feel like she for sure needs to catch up on some shit that was going on. Cause this is honestly one of those films like where if you're not paying attention,
You miss.
you will be confused as shit. And I mean, my dad also big Batman fan, or excuse me, my mom's not a big Batman fan. So she was just like, if you weren't going to see this, like, and you weren't here or whatever, I wouldn't be going to see it. So my dad, on the other hand, big Batman fan, and he didn't really like it that much either. But I feel like he's kind of like in the same boat as you. Like he keeps sending like our family group chat. He keeps sending like clips of like the movie or whatever. And I'm like, I thought you said you didn't like it. And he's like sending all these like, you know, clips from the film. And I feel like that he just might need to watch it again, you know. But I mean, I loved it as somebody who's read the Long Halloween comic, as somebody who has played the games. I mean, like Pattinson's Batman fought like the games and everything, which is what I really liked. Like he was like grabbing some stuff and like throwing it at people. Fucking awesome. And then the opening monologue is literally, it feels like it was, it was like taken out of the Long Halloween, like, you know, so.
Doomsday's Crypt says, hey guys, such a tough choice for me between Begins and The Dark Knight. And he also says, feel like I'm the only person, but I found the Batman incredibly boring. I wouldn't say it was incredibly boring.
Mm-hmm.
There was parts I was looking at my phone, which I usually don't do at the movies, but I was kind of like, yeah, I'm just not really into this right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, all I know is that I walked out of the theater. I loved it. My buddies, they both liked it. They didn't love it as much as me, which is funny because my buddy Blair, who went, he plays the Batman games too. And he gave it a 7.5 out of 10. He thought that was a pretty fair rating out of it. It's certainly not like my mom was like 3 out of 10. I'm like, it's certainly not a 3. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, and then she saw my post on Facebook and she was like, your post was so inaccurate. Or I'm like, no, that's my opinion. First of all, like, and like I explained to her why, and you know, like, I'm like, there's no freaking way it's a 3 out of 10. The writing alone is like literally like it's a 7 out of 10 for the writing. Like, you know, I mean, I'd even rank it higher than that, but I'm just saying like an average ranking should be like a 7 or higher just for the dialogue alone. So, you know,
a 3.
A 3. Yeah, I'm like, get out. Like, just
leave.
Like, just don't ever watch a Batman movie in my presence again. Like,
and I wasn't even high on it, and I gave it an 8 out of 10. So
an 8 out, yeah. 8. I mean, it's like I feel like that this is one of those movies. It's like, you know, it's such a good looking film. Matt Reeves has yet to make a bad movie. Both of his Planet of the Apes movies were fucking fantastic. I mean, I literally rewatched those last week just to kind of get ready for like Batman. You know, Batman. I mean, not the right movies to watch for it, but from a filmmaking standpoint, like, you know, just to kind of see what he does. And I mean, I definitely feel Matt Reeves in this movie 100%. Like, you know, I feel the way he shoots things. I think that he's a really great director. He knows what he wants. There's a lot of stuff in this movie that really worked for me. And I really think that the dark tone really worked for me. I saw some people that I know are big Marvel fans were like, where were all the jokes or whatever? I'm like, dude, not every movie needs to be Marvel. Not every movie needs to have these jokes. And I mean, even Christopher Nolan's movies are funnier than, you know, this movie was.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even The Dark Knight had quite a few jokes in it that this film didn't have. Like, you know, so I mean, I understand to a degree, like, you know, sure, you can throw jokes in here and there. Here, I didn't see it necessarily working. So I was very happy actually that we didn't get like a whole lot of jokes or anything. Like there are certain moments like with Gordon and Batman in this movie, like where there's some dialogue in there. Like one that I can think of is when Gordon says to punch him. And later on, he goes, "You were supposed to dodge that punch." I did. Like, you know, or that was dodge. Like, see, like that got a chuckle out of me. Like, you know, that's fine. But
they couldn't do the Marvel stuff. Like you said, it wouldn't work at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they bitched about jokes in Halloween, and this had a dark tone like Halloween, so it definitely wouldn't have worked in here like it didn't work in Halloween. So it makes sense they didn't add it in there.
Yeah, and I honestly think that opening shot at the first politician that the Riddler kills in this movie. There's that shot where you see the Riddler in the dark, you see like the glowing eyes or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's straight out of a horror movie. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this. Like, I was so happy just with that shot alone. I was like, and that was like at the very start of the movie. And then it just, to me, it just got better. I mean, the reveal of Batman was freaking just amazing. Like seeing him step out of the shadows. Oh yeah, it was that all worked for me. I wasn't sure because I remember that when he just whoops the shit out of that guy. I remember seeing that in the first teaser trailer that we got. I wasn't expecting that to be that early in the movie, but that literally happened. That was our reveal of Batman. Like that all worked for me because like I was just like, God damn, he just whooped his ass. Like he ain't getting up from that. He's out for at least 2 weeks. So
they looked the face paint on them. Were they going for a Joker vibe? Because that's what I got when I seen all those people in the subway.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, maybe because I do think that later in the movie, I mean, it still hasn't been confirmed yet. The only thing I knew that was confirmed before going into the movie was that there's an Arkham series now coming too. That's focusing on Arkham Asylum. And at the end, when Riddler's talking to the guy in the cell next to him, I'm like 90% sure that's Joker.
I'm pretty sure it was.
He also says something about clowns. I'm like 90% sure. Like 10%, I'm just kind of like, maybe it's somebody else, but I'm like about 90% that this next movie is going to have the Joker in it.
Of course.
I mean, and I did see somebody say, I'm sick and tired of getting these same villains, man. Like, we've seen all these live action. Give us somebody new. I'm like, well, you know what? When shit works and these are characters that are just popular, that'll get.
You don't got to change it.
You're not going to change what's working. So,
No, I mean, Jack Nicholson's Joker was fantastic. Heath Ledger was great. Jared Leto, I didn't mind him, but most people hated him. I didn't mind him. And
yeah,
I've never seen the Joker, the standalone film. Unfortunately, I need to watch it.
Oh, you haven't seen Joaquin in Joker?
Nope, I heard it's good. I just haven't seen it.
I liked it a lot. Again, I mean, you want to talk about slow burns? It is a slow burn. Like, I'm just saying. But I'm a fan of it. Like, I'm a fan of a slow burn as long as the payoff throughout the entire film is working. Like as long as things are getting paid off, like you're talking about something, shit happens later on, fine. So I don't mind it. Like I actually kind of miss watching movies where you have to sit down and actually
pay attention,
listen to what the filmmaker is trying to say, especially if they're the writer too. Like, I mean, if they're the writer and director of the movie, then they have a very specific vision and a very specific voice that they're trying to tell. And I just want to be able to hear and process it, like as to what it is they're trying to say, which is what I love about the Batman is that, Matt Reeves has a very specific story he's trying to tell and he tells it. He doesn't overdo it with comedy. He has a very particular tone that he sets very early in the movie. And it plays out wonderfully, at least in my opinion, throughout the course of the movie. And Nolan's films did the exact same thing. He made a complete trilogy with his brother. Jonathan Nolan co-wrote the Dark Knight trilogy with him. And yeah, I mean, everything worked for me there as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to, and I mean, some of the earlier movies, I mean, I loved Batman and Robin when I was a kid.
Who didn't?
Watching it now, not so much. So,
Speaking of that sounds like a good place to start with our number 9 pick. And for me, yeah, Batman and Robin. That movie. Wow. Like you said, back in the day, as a kid, It was everything. It was and Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, for crying out loud, as Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze.
It
Love
was
me some Arnie, you
it
know?
was awesome. And I mean, Poison Ivy was shitty back then as she is
Yeah.
now, but
Yeah.
you really notice how bad she is as a character now compared to whenever you were a kid. And
Mhm.
obviously, after we see Christopher Nolan's Bane and see this version of Bane in Batman and Robin, I mean, yes, he does look like that in the comics. Some of them, I believe, doesn't he?
Mhm. Yeah.
So this is a comic book, literally movie come to life, but pretty much just to sell the toys and to make Warner Brothers some money. But the movie itself, oh my god, it was so terrible. George Clooney, he might have been able to be a good Batman / Bruce Wayne, but obviously he did not put in a good performance whatsoever. Christopher O'Donnell was not very good in this one either. He was better in Batman Forever, in my opinion. This is not one that honestly that I will probably ever watch again.
Mhm.
I did my top moments for it, and that is about all I'm gonna do for that movie because it's just not good. It's very hard to get through.
Yep. I mean, literally, that's number 9 on my list. Also, Batman and Robin. I genuinely think that as a kid, I enjoyed it. The older I got, the more I started to recognize like this isn't as good as I remember. And then I watched it again, and I was like, this is really not as good as I remember. Like, but yeah, like Batman and Robin, there's really nothing else that needs to be said about it other than it's pretty unwatchable. At least now it is, especially with the movies that we've gotten. Now, if you want to get a good laugh, honestly, if you're like wasted and you're watching this movie,
Have a great time.
I think you could have a great time. Honestly, I might actually think it's a fucking masterpiece if I'm like wasted like watching it. But no, I mean, like George Clooney has the bat look to him. I mean, he's got the chin,
Yeah.
like to a degree. He doesn't look as good as some of the other actors that play him. But I mean, I would honestly almost say that he was probably the worst Batman too, in my opinion. I just also think that it had to do with direction and everything. Also, like this movie is just a shit show. It's got like a 3.7 fan rating on like IMDb, and it's crazy. So
what?
It's got like I have it pulled up right. It's got a 3.7 out of 10 on IMDb, and it's got a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my God. 12. I think the 12 might be generous.
A 12 might be.
It should be like a 5.
And then literally the what do you call it? One of the most searched questions on this movie on Google is Batman and Robin the worst movie ever? Like
it could be.
That's crazy. That's honestly insane. Like,
Christian, Braden, will you make a Batman fan film in the future?
As much as I would like to, like, I mean, there's actually a before I answer more of that, there's actually a Batman fan film I started from the guys over that did Halloween Night, that fan film that came out like last year. It's called The Bat Last Laugh. Started it. It's great. I mean, it's really good. It's really well done. I actually plan on talking about it later on this week. I'm going to talk about a little bit about Batman during a live stream on my channel sometime this weekend. And I want to bring that up as well because it deserves a lot more attention than it's getting. But I would love to make a Batman fan film, man. Like, I mean, Batman is my favorite superhero of all time. I mean, fun fact, and if anybody didn't know this, my initials and my company comes from the love for Batman. My initials is actually BAT, Braden Anthony Timmons. My dad actually planned that. So I told you guys my dad's a big Batman fan. That was why. So, and then my production company's Bat Productions. And like Batman has just been such a big part of my life that anytime Batman is on screen, whether it be for a Justice League movie, whether it be for anything, I always have like something Batman on, like, like, cause I love the character so much. So, that's honestly why, like now watching Batman and Robin, I'm just kind of like, I smacked myself on the wrist. I'm like, how the fuck did you like this as a kid? But then again, you're a kid likes anything, right?
Of course.
So, yeah, but, I mean, Batman and Robin, nothing really to say about it. And in terms of the fan film, I honestly would really enjoy to do it. I would just have to kind of come up with what I would want to do. And I don't think that I would be able to make anything like Matt Reeves or Christopher Nolan. I mean, because that's just without a shred of a doubt what people are going to compare stuff to, even if it's just a fan film.
Yep.
You know, like people are going to be like, this isn't good as the Dark Knight. I'm going to be like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. No shit. It's not as good as the Dark Knight. Like, what? Like,
damn you for not making it as good as the Dark Knight, you son of a bitch.
Right? They're like, don't you live in Chicago? Like, shouldn't you be able to go to the shooting locations? Yeah, for like freaking $10 million. Like,
Chad says Braden would play Robin to my Batman. Just kidding. I'd rather be a villain. You're always a villain, Chad. Like, you're fucking always the bad guy.
yeah. Who I mean, honestly, Chad could be who would Chad be good as? He wouldn't be a good Joker.
Victor Zsasz. He's kind of bald.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that I mean, maybe, yeah. I don't know. I'd have to look more into it. He could be Mr. Freeze. Arnold is bald in
yeah. In the fish tank.
Yeah.
He looks good. By the way, did you watch the Gotham show on Fox?
I did not. I wish I did. I know here I am talking about how Batman's my favorite. Haven't even watched Gotham on Fox. Like
I love that fucking show.
Isn't that on Netflix right now? Or did they take
think it is. I love that show.
Because I really do want to watch that. Like that's on like my list of shows. It's been on my list for years to literally watch. And like I've been on a DC high this past weekend. I literally watched like all 3 Dark Knights, or Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. Literally, I freaking love those movies, and I've just been on a DC high because of the Batman. So I'm trying to get now. I want to watch the animated movies and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Chad says Killer Croc or Clayface.
Clayface.
And Christian says Penguin, but that's kind of mean.
It's not mean. I mean, Chad could probably be a good Penguin with all the like makeup and stuff that would be done. I mean, look what they fucking did to Colin Farrell. I mean, he is unrecognizable in this movie, even with his voice.
Not even close.
He's like unrecognizable. Like there's that super close up of him that like I can kind of see Colin Farrell's face, and he's in the rain, and he's just like he's like making that like look like I can kind of see a little bit of Colin Farrell there, but other than that, I mean like the scenes at the club, like the scene when Batman like is like talking to him with Gordon, can't recognize him at all. Like it's unbelievable. And they actually just announced today that they have the Penguin HBO show.
I saw that
in development too. So it looks like that Warner Brothers is taking notes from what Marvel's doing and what's working with Marvel. Like, like now they're doing movies and shows that are now coming to HBO Max. Which sign me up. If that's the future now of like what's coming, and we can continue all of these DC shows and all of these like, whatever, if it's gonna work, I don't give a shit. Sign me up. Like I'll take it all. I'll take all the superhero stuff because it clearly ain't going away anytime soon.
No.
So,
Oh, Christian says Danny DeVito is awesome as Penguin. Maybe that's why I kind of thought it was rude. If we make Chad look like Danny DeVito's Penguin, that's a different story because he's pretty fucking fucked up.
Yeah, no, I mean, Danny DeVito. I do like Danny DeVito as Penguin a lot. I'll talk more about that when I get to, I don't know, like because I see where it's at on my list. So I don't want to like say anything before I get there. But yeah, I agree. Danny DeVito is awesome as Penguin. I like his makeup a lot too, like the pointy nose and everything that he has, and like I like all that.
That's Tim Burton's world, and you can definitely fucking tell because it's out of the ordinary stuff. It ain't like this. It ain't like Matt Reeves' Penguin that's actually realistic. It's more of fucking straight out the comic books.
Mhm.
for sure. But let's dive into number 8. What's your number 8?
My number 8 is Batman Forever. Batman Forever. It's been a while since I've seen that one. Val Kilmer, I remember being a pretty decent Batman. I have not had a chance to watch this in like literally 10 years. I barely remember anything about it. I thought Val Kilmer was pretty good as Batman. Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face was interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting to say the least. Love Tommy Lee Jones. I just didn't think that worked for me very much. So you know, I don't know. There was Drew Barrymore was in it as Sugar.
Yes, she was.
Again, love Drew Barrymore. I don't fucking Jim Carrey was the Riddler. So I mean, it's like I don't know. Like this is one of those movies where again, I feel like if you've got alcohol with it, then I feel like it might be a lot better of a watch. But yeah, Batman Forever comes in at number 8 for me. I don't like it too much.
No. Also, my number 8 as well. Batman Forever. Obviously, I grew up with that one as well. Had the fucking mugs from like McDonald's back in the day. Val Kilmer, personally, I thought he was a pretty damn good Bruce Wayne. Not so much Batman. The Batman looked pretty good. It wasn't terrible. Chris O'Donnell was pretty good as Robin. Not that we ever need Robin. You know, you don't have to have both to make a good Batman movie, but eventually he fucking always shows up at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Lee Jones, yeah, he's a great actor, but it didn't work for Two-Face. That was way too cartoony. And the Riddler, I wouldn't even say is the Riddler. It was more fucking Jim Carrey dressed up as a Riddler character.
He is literally in one of those morph suits the whole movie. He's got like the freaking question marks on him and everything. Like, I'm like, that's not a good Riddler. Like, you know, like the Riddler that they did in the Batman, I thought was like, that was fucking, he was chilling, man. Like, I'm that's how I think you should have done it. But what they do here, you can tell that they clearly wanted a tongue-in-cheek movie.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell that they definitely didn't give a shit about, you know, story or anything like that. Like, it was just like, oh, hey, here's a Batman movie, everybody. Come out and see it. We're going to put Jim Carrey, who was definitely big throughout the course of the 90s. We're going to put Val Kilmer as Batman. And then we're going to put Tommy Lee Jones, who's another pretty well-known actor. So, you know, and we're going to have Nicole Kidman, Drew Barrymore. You know, we've got this giant list of people. Come on out and see it.
Just dumping them out.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be fucking great. Fucking wrong. It's god awful. So, you know,
hey,
this is like a whole, it's just hilarious, honestly.
Yeah, Schumacher, not one of his best films. I couldn't believe he's the director of the fucking Lost Boys, and he made this movie.
Yeah.
Totally opposite. Piece of shit is what this is.
Mm-hmm.
But surprisingly, Rotten Tomatoes, it got a 39%, my friend.
39%. Kiss my ass. This is not a 39% movie. This is like, what'd you give Batman and Robin? Like a 5%? I'd say this is probably a 6 or a 7%. So, you know, like that's basically what I'm gonna say.
It got a IMDb. It got a 5.4 out of 10.
I mean, it is better than Batman and Robin. So I will say that. I don't know if it's like if it goes from 3.7 to 5.4. I'd say 3.7 maybe to like a 4.
Yeah,
that's and even a 4 is being generous. Like, you know, so I don't know.
Yeah, the best part of the whole movie, I would say, you haven't seen it in a while, so you probably don't remember that much. But the best part of that movie was probably Nicole Kidman, and I don't even really find her attractive now. But in that movie, she looked pretty dang good. So that's probably the only good part of the whole movie.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman hasn't really aged too well. She's getting very bony, honestly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, she used to look really good. I mean, I used to really think she looked good, and in this movie, she definitely did. So, you know,
get the shitty ones out the way. Yeah. Actually, let me think. I think actually from now on, I moderately like these to fucking love these. So it gets better, at least for me, anyway.
It does. I mean, it does. What's your number 7?
My number 7 would be, after much debate, I got to go Batman Returns. I thought that I was going to put that ahead of Batman 1989, but I can't. I do like we talked about Danny DeVito as the Penguin. I thought he was great. Christopher Walken was in it, he's fucking amazing as always. Christopher Walken. Get the introduction of Catwoman, like we always have to have as well in these movies. She always has to come up at some point.
Michelle Pfeiffer. I thought she was a great Catwoman too.
The way she became Catwoman's kind of fucking weird though, because she should have been dead and then gets licked by cats and then magically comes back to life. But that whatever. It's Tim Burton. You get what you get, I guess.
Tim Burton does like to do weird stuff. So, I mean, like he does. Like, I mean, that's just like, I mean, look at all the movies he's directed. I mean, like, like I mean, Beetlejuice is a prime example of like, just like a bunch of weird stuff,
off the wall.
So, and I mean, both of those like, I mean, even Batman stars Michael Keaton, just like Beetlejuice did. So
did Tim Burton make Edward Scissorhands too?
Yes, he did.
Okay. I thought he did. Yeah, but so I thought I loved it. I think it's technically a Christmas movie. I think it takes place at Christmas time, and they say Merry Christmas, and there's a Christmas tree, so it's a Christmas movie if you're asking me. But
Batman Returns,
yeah,
no, it does because it does. Yeah, it is a Christmas movie. Good, acceptable movie to watch over Christmas.
It takes place around Christmas. They mention Christmas. In this movie, Batman kills some people, so that's always exciting. They always say he doesn't kill anybody, but he dropped a dynamite down like a guy's pants, and he fucking exploded. And then he turned the Batmobile around and lit a guy on fire. So he really didn't give a shit about human life in this movie. So that was awesome to see as well.
Yeah, the movie and what do you call it? Yeah, the Michael Keaton in this movie is definitely a lot less charismatic than he was in Batman 1989. But I mean, hey, like, it's a sequel, Batman, like when you're the character of Batman, like, you go through certain phases, like, you go through like a phase, like where you think about not hurting, like, you don't want to hurt anybody, but like, then it's like, you realize that sometimes people are going to get hurt in this job that, you do. So, yeah, like, and I mean, sometimes it's even going to be because you're not being very charismatic either of how fast you're going in the streets. So, like, I mean, that's all acceptable if you ask me. And I mean, again, I love Michael Keaton as Batman, for sure. Like, this is the first Batman that obviously I think that we ever saw, like, for anybody really, that we saw live action. So Michael Keaton is always going to literally have a very special place in my heart because, even though in my opinion there have been better Batmans since him, I do think that he's the one that kind of kickstarted all of this. And, I still go back and I mostly watch Batman in 1989 more than I do Returns. I do want to watch Returns again. It's been a few years since I've had a chance to sit down and watch it. But I mean, I love that original one. So that's the one I go back to all the time. But I mean, Batman Returns has a lot of great, again, it's got a lot of great actors in it. Danny DeVito as Penguin is awesome. I do think that there's a lot that this movie has that works for me. And then Tim Burton as the director, love Tim Burton. So I just think that this movie has a lot of good vibes. It feels a little more intense than the first film did. And I appreciate this movie a lot. So,
and this one on Rotten Tomatoes, it has an 80%, which is fantastic, and a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb.
That works for me. I mean, that's good for me. So, and then obviously Danny Elfman's score in both of these movies, holy shit, is it good? I mean, I would honestly, like, my new favorite Batman score is Michael Giacchino from The Batman. I mean, this composer just can't stop from making good scores. He can't stop. Like, I mean, and he just did Spider-Man No Way Home's score as well. And so it's like he's like doing all of these great comic book scores. And I mean, even this new one is probably as close to Danny Elfman's score, in my opinion, with some of the beats than most of the other movies. Actually, than all the other movies. Like,
I would
this
agree.
is the closest, especially my favorite. I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it. My favorite track in the Batman soundtrack is the highway to the danger zone, when Batman's chasing Penguin on the highway in the Batmobile. That right there, that entire sound, I loved every bit of it, because I just heard the classic Batman theme just literally playing as he was driving in the Batmobile. It's so good. It is so good. So
I would agree with that. I was thinking that watching that movie as well. It definitely sounded like closer to the original than anything that Hans Zimmer did in the Nolan trilogy. Not that the Nolan trilogy music was bad, because I fucking love that soundtrack to all those. So,
oh my goodness, I mean, I honestly still listen to Molossus literally on the highway when I'm driving. Like, like it's like the Batmobile driving on the highway from the cops in Batman Begins. Like, I freaking listen to that, and it's like I catch myself going so damn fast. I'm gonna actually have a cop chasing. Like, so yeah, but Batman Returns is what number are we on?
7.
7. Yeah, Batman Returns for me is number 7. Love Batman Returns. So I mean, yeah, we're on a like matching track right now. This was not planned either, people. So
it's gonna. I think maybe one more might be the same, and then I think it's gonna change. Christian has a question for you. Which Batmobile is your favorite? I like the new one.
My favorite is always going to be the Tumbler from the Nolan trilogy.
That's interesting.
The Tumbler is always going to be my favorite one. So, you know, I liked it a lot. And I don't know, like, I just like the introduction of it. Like, I like how, like, he's sitting, he's talking to Fox, and he literally goes, "What's that? The Tumbler?" Oh,
You're
you wouldn't be interested in that. And then they're just like driving. Yeah, and then like the very end, he goes, "So what do you think? Does it come in black?" Like, you know, I love the introduction to it, and then like the reveal of it is fucking like, it's amazing. Like when he's saving Rachel, and they're like moving out, and he goes, "I'll get my car. I brought mine. Yours." And then it just fucking fires up, and I gotta get me one of those. Like, again, like see, those are, I mean, even though like Nolan's trilogy isn't super funny, there are still moments in that, like, where it's like the comedy is very well placed. The Tumbler is always going to be my favorite. So yeah, and I did like the new Batmobile a lot though too. I liked the new one. I can't even lie, I did. Like, as soon, and the reveal of this one too, like on the docks, like as soon as the lights turned on and the cannon started firing up, man, oh my god, like I was like shaking in my seat. I was so excited. Like the cannon started firing on and it just took off. I was like, god damn, that is freaking hot.
And it looked good. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but once you see it in action and actually see it in the movie, it's pretty badass. I didn't. It was kind of boring though that he just, whenever he was on a motorcycle, it was literally just a motorcycle. But yeah, I'm assuming that'll change as these movies keep going down the line.
Yeah, I'm positive they will, because I think we got 2 more movies coming with Reeves. I think Batman 2 and 3 has been confirmed. Which, again, give me all the fucking Batman. Give it to me. I love this guy. You know, as long as we're continuing to get actors, because in my opinion, since Christian Bale, like, I mean, there has, like, he was a great Batman. I thought Ben Affleck was a good Batman. Yes. I thought that Robert Pattinson was good Batman. As long as we're getting people that fit the role, and as long as we're getting good stories, that's all I care about. I don't care who the fuck's playing him. As long as you're good in the role, then, you know, I mean, I feel like the world's going to burn to the ground, or at least the DC fans are going to burn to the ground if we get a movie and there's a bad Batman now in the future.
It's at the end of the game.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I agree, and I don't think they'll make that mistake again,
I
like
hope
they
not.
did with Batman Forever. I mean, Val Kilmer was okay. George Clooney was bad, but
Yeah.
it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can start shaking some shit up. Your number 6.
Mine.
Yeah.
All right. Batman v Superman, number 6. So, number 6 for me. I like Batman v Superman a lot. Honestly, like if it wasn't on this list, if like we were doing Batman and Superman movies, like it would definitely be a lot higher on the list for sure. But yeah, Batman v Superman. I mean, I do think that the version that we got in theaters was it was like I liked it, didn't love it. It was kind of just like a giant splat of awesomeness. There was a lot of issues to it. There was a lot of pacing to it that just didn't work. I really did like since we're talking about Batman, I really did like the introduction to Batman for sure. I loved like how he was like just like up in the corner when the cops were like looking at him. Like yeah, I mean like that was all really
cool.
really cool. And I like how like he like engraved the bat like on the people like on the victims and everything. I thought that was really cool. I also like his Batwing that he has in Batman v Superman, and I do like his Batmobile a lot too. But I will say, I think that the most thorough I've ever seen Batman in a fight is actually in Batman v Superman. And it's when they're at the warehouse.
Hell yeah.
And he like literally just comes up from the ground and just fucking beats the shit out of everybody. Like, I mean, that is the most thorough Batman scene to date in a movie. Sure, Robert Pattinson's was all really great, but just the way that Ben Affleck's Batman fought in Batman v Superman when he was there to save Martha, because my mom's name is Martha. Why'd you say that name?
It's his mom.
Yeah. So, what do you call it? Yeah, Batman v Superman. I think that Batflick fucking kills it. I mean, especially like when he actually is entering the warehouse, like how he just dives through the glass. It just looks good. It just like he looks comfortable. He looks good as the character. I remember seeing that first look image of like him just like standing in the bat suit, and I was like, God damn, like that shit is so cool. So yeah, like I think that Batman v Superman, it honestly breaks my heart actually that I'm like talking so high about Batman in this movie.
And it's below.
And it's like yeah, it's at number 6 right now on my ranking. But yeah, I think that that I still think it's fucking great. And again, Ben Affleck, this was a great introduction to this Bruce Wayne. Also, I cared about Bruce Wayne a lot in this movie.
Yes.
I thought he was interesting. It's not just about Batman. Bruce is in a position to where we need to understand why he feels the way he feels about Superman and why he wants to go after him. I bought into his character. I cared about him. I wanted to see more. I wanted to see the perfect mix of Bruce Wayne and Batman. And I think that there's a great training montage in this movie too. Like when he's like training and like lifting all the weights and everything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. And then, I mean, the scene with Bruce Wayne that I didn't really like is when you see the Flash, you see Barry. Like, the answer's Lois Lane. Or like, see that in this movie is like where shit just kind of starts to get messy. Like from that point on, just it doesn't really work. So,
damn it. I think we're the same on this as well. Damn, we're never gonna switch it up, are we? Batman vs Superman for me as well. Honestly, I never gave a shit about this movie. I watched it when it came out. I said, "Wow, this movie sucks. Ben Affleck's terrible. I hate Superman, so I don't want to watch this." And then I rewatched it again, and Ben Affleck's really damn good as Batman and Bruce Wayne. I think he might be the best Bruce Wayne. You from the beginning of the movie when you see Superman fighting and destroying Wayne Tower and it collapsing, and just see Bruce, not as Batman, but as Bruce Wayne, running in there to try to save people and do whatever he can do. You see what kind of character he is. This isn't like the playboy kind. This is the mature Bruce Wayne, and he pulls it off so good, way better than I ever thought. And if I did Batman, the character rankings, he'd probably be up there pretty damn high. Because I think he deserved his own movie, which he'll never get, obviously now. But I think they missed an opportunity to let him have. Why didn't they let him have, before doing this movie, let him have his own film as Affleck?
Yeah, because he was originally supposed to write, direct, and star in it. So, it's like I wish that I wish that we would have gotten that movie. I do. As much as I loved the Batman, I wish we would have seen this. I also really like his bat logo. I like the big thick bat, on his chest. I like that a lot. I actually want to get a Batman shirt that has that logo on it. I think that he honestly has the second best bat logo, from live action ones, in my opinion. I like it a lot. And again, I like his Batmobile. I like, Jeremy, what's his name? Who played Alfred in, Jeremy, hold on. I gotta look this up. It's going to bother me. Batman v Superman.
I know he was the guy from Night at the Museum.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons. That's who I was going to say. I just wasn't, I didn't want to get it wrong. Jeremy Irons, I liked a lot as Alfred. I like the conversation that they have. When he's talking to him about Superman, and that's when Bruce is telling him, if there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty. And then he's and Alfred's trying to convince him that he's not his enemy and everything like that. And then just the fight at the end. How can you not like watching Batman and Superman go at it? And it really just shows how smart fucking Bruce Wayne is.
Yep.
He you can say whatever the hell you want. Oh, Batman's a pussy. He used kryptonite. How else are you supposed to defeat Superman?
You can't beat him.
This is a freaking street fight, dude. Batman's gonna do whatever the hell he can to if he believes that this guy is a threat, he's gonna do what he can to make sure that Superman falls. And I love that whole confrontation. Superman knows it's Bruce, and just that whole thing of I gotta say, it is pretty fucking sick when Superman just shoves him and he just flies back.
He didn't even fucking touch him at all.
He didn't even try to touch him.
Whoa.
That is the equivalent of me just doing this to my sister and her starting to cry because she wanted attention or something like that. But literally, it's I understand. I was God
there you
damn. That just everything about the fights in this movie. A lot of it really kind of felt like Batman Returns, kind of leaped right off of the page to me, from the comic. But yeah, I thought that that Ben Affleck's a great Batman, and I too, I didn't love this movie when I saw it. I was disappointed in it when I saw it. And then I was I'm gonna watch the Ultimate Edition. I'm just gonna do it. And I fucking did. And I have a completely different perspective on it now. I have it on Blu-ray. I I watch it once a year. I love it, if not twice a year, honestly. Love the Ultimate Edition. Love Batman v Superman. Honestly, I'd love to see. I want to see the fucking Snyderverse continue, man. I want to see it so badly.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't think so either. But even Justice League, dude, it was a fucking 4-hour and 2-minute movie, and we still don't have the complete story. I want it.
I'm the only person that didn't watch the Snyder cut of that.
Oh my God.
It's 4 hours long. I can't do that.
Dude, I bought it on 4K not too long ago.
Holy
and
fuck.
I literally fucking I love it. I know it's on HBO Max. Even my sister was like, "Isn't it on HBO Max?" I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
You want the copy?
I want the physical copy of Justice League in my hands. But yeah, it is. I'm sure you've heard it from everybody. It is fucking a million times better than
That's what I
the
hear.
2017 Justice League, the piece of trash that we got.
I mean, I did see that movie, and that was fucking terrible. So.
Dude, I mean, even the color grade is different in the Snyder version than the 2017 one. Like the 2017 one is like, it feels like a fucking cosplay version of it.
That's what it. I think that's what it is. That's what it is. It looks like a cosplay version of the Justice League. You're right.
Yeah, like I mean, and then it's like you get this. I will say, I'm not saying it's a perfect movie. The Snyder Cut's not a perfect movie. There are certain elements with Wonder Woman, like where a certain theme song starts playing every single time she appears. Yeah, and it's fucking, and it's so. I mean, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know.
It's very annoying. They could have really done without doing that. But I do like and appreciate how at least this version of it picks up literally right where the Snyder Cut, ends. It's like the first thing, it picks up right where Batman v Superman ends. It's like we see what happens after the events of that fight. It pretty much starts with Doomsday's, spike in Superman's chest, and like it picks up right from there.
Okay.
So like that's something I really like. And then it makes the story more cohesive than than the entire Justice League 2017 movie. So
Oh, what's the Rotten Tomatoes score on that piece of shit?
On Justice League 2017?
Let's see.
40.
40%.
Yeah.
It's better than I thought it would be.
40%, 6.1. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It got better than Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Nope. That's not okay with me. But
no.
Yeah,
moving on. We're not gonna talk about that piece of shit anymore. Number 5 for me, Batman 1989. Classic Batman. Michael Keaton was fantastic as Batman. And Bruce Wayne. He wants to get nuts. Let's get nuts. I love that scene by the fireplace when he's giving Jack the speech. Fucking fantastic. He's so smart. Has put the tray in there for the bulletproof vest. He's smart in this movie as well. Jack Nicholson is the Joker. Fantastic. You can't beat it. I love whenever he's fucking in the art museum listening to Prince and freaking spray painting all the paintings and knocking over all the shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's an iconic scene as well. The Batmobile. I mean, come on. That's what people think of when they think of the Batmobile. It's not my favorite, but that's what I kind of think of when I think of a Batmobile. What they had in that movie. Yes, the plot was all over the place. It really didn't make any sense. Joker was trying to like poison beauty supplies and shampoo and shit, and then having a parade and like tossing out money, and it didn't fucking make any sense at all. But I don't really think anybody cared because it was Batman on the big screen, live action. He looked great. The costume is, that classic Batman look with the yellow logo. It's obviously, it came out 1989. I was 1 year old, so obviously I didn't watch it then. But I did watch it a little bit growing up, and I mean, I don't really have the nostalgia for it, I guess. But it's a damn good movie, and I think the Joker once again steals the show, and unfortunately for Batman. And without Jack Nicholson, I don't know if it would have been as good. But he definitely kicks ass in the role, and I wouldn't say this is one that I watch a lot. Probably really not ever, to be honest. Just to do my reviews and stuff. It holds up, I guess, kinda. You can obviously it aged. It is fucking over 30 years old. So, but it just has to go here. Just for the iconic nature that it is, I guess. And Jack Nicholson. But other than that, I wouldn't find myself watching this one over any of the ones remaining on this list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny. Batman 89 is it's right here on my list too. We've had literally every single, like, I'm genuinely curious. Okay, because like we know, like, where, you like, I love the Batman. You say, I don't think it's going to be where it's at on my list.
No.
So, So I do think we don't have the perfect list like together, but yeah,
they're pretty close.
89 is definitely, it's definitely pretty close. 89 is right here on my list too. What are we on, number 5 right now? Yeah, number 5 on my list is Batman 1989. It's iconic. Michael Keaton obviously is always going to be iconic as Batman, being that he was the first live action one. I love Tim Burton as a director. Got major Tim Burton vibes throughout the course of this movie. It is definitely very cheesy, like the way Batman appears, like whereas in some of these later movies, or I mean, in especially Nolan's movies, and even in the new movie and Batman v Superman with Ben Affleck, he's very in the shadows. He's very quick, whereas there are moments in Batman 89 where you clearly just see him like coming down from, like, I mean, and I'm just like, well, I mean, I get it. It's like, he's like coming out of the fog, and it's not like you just see him. It's like, it's like in the fog, but it's like you see it enough. Whereas like the more recent Batmans, it's like he is very quick at getting out of sight and everything, and whereas this 1989 one, he wasn't, it's like he wasn't trying to disappear or anything. But Jack Nicholson is very iconic as the Joker. I do think that I like how we actually see how he becomes the Joker. How he falls into the acid and everything, and it's like I like how we actually experience, okay, now that's where he's all like fucked up in the face, and like how he he's like always smiling, and I love his introduction of it, like where he's like, you could call me Joker, I love that entire introduction of him. And I mean, yeah, it's just it's always going to be iconic. It's in my opinion, I mean, I haven't even watched it like since I was a kid. I haven't watched it more than I have the more recent ones that we're gonna, I'm sure, get into now. I mean, I love it. I think that it's great. It's fun. It's a fun movie. I will say that it's certainly not, bad. I think that Michael Keaton does actually play a good Bruce Wayne. I mean, I'd say that he's probably the most charismatic Bruce Wayne. I'll give him that. I think that he's probably the most charismatic Bruce Wayne in terms of like what he's going to do, at least at first, like even when what's her face meets him, the girl,
Vicky Vale.
Yeah. Vicky, when Vicky meets him, it's like, he doesn't strike me as like, like Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne. Like he's cocky. He's, he's all that. He's the all that billionaire playboy and everything like that. And just Michael Keaton doesn't come off as that.
Not at all.
So I think that he's probably the most charismatic Bruce Wayne. And then as Batman, he's great. And I like the costume and everything. I actually like, we have Six Flags Great America here in Chicago. And Six Flags is like all the DC characters, and they've got that classic Batmobile right in front of Batman the Ride. So it's awesome. But yeah, I mean, like Batman, it's always gonna be there. It's always gonna be, right here. I don't foresee it moving. I mean, it'll probably stay where it's at. Like right now, it'll just keep shifting up as we get these 2 Batman sequels like coming out. So,
so it'll go from 5 to 7. So.
Yeah. So, nothing too crazy.
What did it get? Got 72% on Rotten Tomatoes.
The fact that Batman Returns has a higher rating than that is honestly crazy. Like, but I mean, I do like Batman Returns. I do. But I like Batman 89 more, and it's because it's more iconic to me. So yeah, that's where Batman lies on my list.
Now this is where it's going to get shaken up. Maybe. Probably. All right, let's see. Your number 4.
My number 4 is The Dark Knight Rises.
Just got shaken up. Got shaken up.
Yeah, it's The Dark Knight Rises. I fucking love this movie. I love it with a burning passion. I really do. Like, I mean, fucking okay. I don't think Tom Hardy gets enough credit as Bane at all. I
Nope.
think that this is one of his most overlooked roles. I think that everybody fucking forgets that this is fucking Tom Hardy as Bane, and he is fucking perfect as the character. Like, I mean, like that whole fucking scene in the sewer is one of the greatest
Oh yeah.
scenes in the entire Batman franchise. He's like, "You think darkness is your ally?" You know, I was born in it.
Is the best.
Yeah, like I mean, it's fucking amazing, and I truly do think that the reason that people overlook him is all because of Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yes.
I think that like obviously Heath became an icon when he was Joker, but I don't think that. And sure, we can say all we want that had Heath Ledger not have passed away, unfortunately, he probably would have been in the sequel. However, I do think that Tom Hardy is a show stealer in this movie. I'd say he's almost as much of a show stealer as Christian Bale is as Batman in this one. Because he is that good in this movie. I mean, Bane looks fucking perfect, literally perfect. So yeah, his introduction's amazing. I love the story as to where it picks up. You know, like how it jumps 7 years into the future. Bruce Wayne is trying to retire from Batman because of the events that occurred in the Dark Knight. There's a lot of different things that he's struggling with. He's walking around with a cane. He doesn't look like we saw him last, you know?
No.
And then it takes a while for us and to see him build that character again. It's like, you know, I like the Dark Knight trilogies thing is like, if you look at the Blu-ray covers or some of them, it's like there's begins, falls, and rises. So it's like, because at the end of the Dark Knight, it's like, you know, he's leaving. He's done, you know? So then this entire movie is him coming back, and it's the fucking perfect comeback. Like, I mean, it's absolutely there's so much I can say about this movie. Like, we can do like a stream on this movie alone, and I can talk about everything I love. And I don't think there's a thing in this movie I don't fucking love. Anne Hathaway as Catwoman is my favorite Catwoman. It made me fucking fall in love with her. So, you know, yeah, like, I mean, like when she's like bent over on that.
Oh, come on.
Like, I mean, it's fucking absolutely amazing. So
I liked her as Catwoman. I thought she was very graceful. She fucking flipping out of windows and shit.
Mm-hmm.
She's a cat burglar. I mean, a lot of people made fun of the stupid little, I don't know what the hell they were, like goggles that she like put above her head to make her look like she had cat ears.
Yeah,
I think it was more subtle than anything. I don't think it was actually, you know what I mean? They didn't want to put it in your face like they did back in Batman Returns with Michelle Pfeiffer. But I thought Anne Hathaway was good. I thought she was good as Selena Kyle and Catwoman. She was fine, but a lot of people trash her, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why either. I really don't. I think that she's great in the movie. I mean, the movie is just literally oozing with talent all across from the writing standpoint with Christopher and Jonathan Nolan, to the directing with Christopher Nolan, to the stars of the movie. It's literally it's fucking amazing. Who we got here? Christian,
what was the purpose of Bruce Wayne going to the cave prison scene and him climbing the wall? It confuses me every time I watch it. Are you talking about whenever he got, Bane put him down there?
Yeah, Bane put him down there. So like
he had to get out.
He had to try and get out. So
with the most unrealistic jump ever, but they pulled it off, so it was good.
They did, and they made it really dramatic, you know, and
chanting. Whenever they're chanting down at the bottom, I fucking love that. Get goosebumps.
Oh man, like I get goosebumps just thinking about it. And then like when he finally comes to turn, it's like they do that like 3 times that he tries.
Yep.
And it's like he finally asks, what does that mean? Rise. You know, like I was like fuck yeah, like let's fucking go. And then like when he gets up there, dude doesn't use the like, oh man, like when he doesn't use the
Takes
rope,
it off.
yeah, like takes it off. And God, like just it's like my even though it's like, you know, it's Batman, you know he's gonna make it, like, you know, like this is it, this is that rising climax like of the third act of this movie, or leading into the third act of this movie. Like this is the end of act 2 leading into act 3. The war is coming. He has to get out. Yet my hands fucking sweat every single time I watch it. Like,
How much would it have shocked you if he fucking takes that rope off, tries to jump, and then just falls fucking 50 feet down?
Yeah.
Batman's dead. That's it.
Yep, that and that would be it. That's it. He's
Fucking
done.
movie's over.
He's done, and Nolan would go down as one of the worst endings in cinema history. That would be it. I mean, imagine having 2.5 good movies and then just dicking the third, like the fucking final act of like your almost perfect trilogy.
Fuck you guys. He's dead.
Yeah, no, but I mean, shit. Like, I mean, they even fucking brought Scarecrow back.
Yep, they did a little bit,
just a little bit. You know,
he cracks me up.
I know. I love the death
Or exile.
Like that's 2 options. 2 options. That's it.
You think we're going out on that ice willingly? You got another thing coming. Then death by exile.
And I will say, like, here's what I will say. Gary Oldman is the best Commissioner Gordon ever. Ever. He will always, I think, in my opinion, be the best Commissioner Gordon, because he's so good in all of these movies. I care about him just as much as I do Bruce Wayne. Like every time he's on screen, I just love the connection that he has with, you know, Batman. And I think that he's great. So yeah, Dark Knight Rises, there's so much good about it. The fucking football stadium scene, like when oh my God, is it fucking crazy? Like in this movie, it's got lighthearted moments, but it is dark. It is a dark movie.
Killed the whole football team.
Yeah. Killed the whole football team. Killed the mayor. That's where he killed the mayor.
Office blew out. Yep.
Yeah, like that whole sequence was intense. And then I mean, fuck, dude, like Bane was gonna blow up Gotham City. That
with
was
a nuclear bomb.
That's what he was going to do. And no one was allowed to get out of the city. All the families, all the women, children, everybody, the cops, there was no police force because they all got trapped beneath in the sewers and everything like that. There was literally nothing. There was what's his face? God, the officer played by
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
What the fuck was his name?
I know his name was Robin at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck was his name?
I know, right? Like here I am struggling to remember this. He was Officer Blake, John Blake.
Yep, wouldn't have fucking known.
But yeah, he was out on the street, you know, like trying to help with what he can. And yeah, like I thought that he was great as well. Dark Knight Rises is honestly, it's so good. I'm almost wondering if I had mistaken the Dark Knight Rises for the Dark Knight, because it's like they're both so close to one another. Like they are both like fucking right there.
Yep.
So
that's the same for me, but this is where we're gonna switch it up, because my number 4 is the newest one, the Batman.
Batman.
The reason is it doesn't, for me personally, it doesn't compare to the Nolan trilogy at all. It just doesn't for me. I'm not really that huge into the Batman comics and everything, so I honestly didn't even know Batman was like a detective. I don't know if that makes me sound dumb or not, but I honestly didn't know that. So I'm not really into that kind of thing. Like I said before, Robert Pattinson was great. I have no problem with him as Batman. Obviously, the Bruce Wayne aspect, like I said, I don't know the comics, so I didn't know that this was like early on Bruce Wayne, and he's yet to be the Playboy. So after I heard that, it made a lot more sense to me why he was the way he was. I like that We didn't have to see the origin story for the 15,000th time. We get it. He's Batman already. We don't have to do that again. Catwoman for me, she was okay. I don't think we really needed her in this movie, to be honest. It was
Yeah.
kind of going off of the Dark Knight Rises thing again, where she had to find her friend and blah blah blah, and we didn't really need that again. And I don't think we needed to see the Joker at the end of the movie either. We could have held off on that because it's been done already. So by Christopher Nolan again, so we didn't really need to see that again, in my opinion. But it was definitely very dark. I like this version of the Riddler a hell of a lot more than Jim Carrey's comedic version. This one was definitely sicker, had that Zodiac/Seven vibe, and I'm not a huge Seven guy either, so that didn't help. That didn't help anything in me liking it. So I wanted to love this movie. I really did. The score was great. To me, it's not better than the Dark Knight trilogy either, but it's whose opinions are opinions, so it doesn't fucking matter if you like it one or the other. That's cool with me. It doesn't bother me one bit. But the action was great. The fighting was great. I thought it was just a little too dark for me. Like, I couldn't really see what was going on half the time, unless the screen quality was just not that good. I would have liked to see what exactly was going on. I like how he walked out of the shadows whenever he was in the subway. I thought that was badass. How you got to hear his fucking footprints coming like he's a fucking giant. And then he just pops out, and they're like, "Who the hell are you?" And then he just fucking starts beating the shit out of him. And then I see that other scene. It kind of reminded me like they stole that from Christopher Nolan too. Is whenever they were like shooting guns at him, and it was kind of like flashing in and out, kind of like a strobe light type of deal. That kind of reminded me of The Dark Knight Rises as well. So I mean, I could see why he would borrow stuff from those movies because they're fantastic, and why wouldn't you if it worked and it was as amazing as it was in those three movies? Why not add that little bit of that to your film? Because it definitely ain't gonna hurt it. Gordon was okay, but I think it's like you said. I just see Gary Oldman, and it's hard to replace him with anybody else. And Alfred didn't really hurt it or help it really. Whenever I seen him, I just thought of Claw from the Black Panther, so it was kind of hard to split them in two for me. But I would have to go with Michael Caine as better Alfred so far as well. So that kind of knocks it down a notch for me. But it's definitely, I think upon rewatch, I'm gonna like it a little bit more. And like I said, I gave it an 8 out of 10. So I got to put it at least top 4.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, and like I'll talk about it when I get there as well. I know we talked a little bit about it in the stream, but I definitely see all your points, and I agree with all the points that you make. And I mean, you also said that you're not like a slow burn type of guy, whereas Nolan's movies, like, they really start picking up in like Act 2 and stuff like that. Whereas this movie, it is slow. I can't even lie. It is a slow Batman movie. It has a very particular story to tell, and it tells it right. So I mean that like I think that right there is probably the reason that it's on your number 4, and I think that's fine. I definitely don't think it deserves any less than a number 4 spot, but
yeah,
me.
Like I said, it might rise up. Depends. I'm assuming if they come out with sequels, they're probably going to be more fast paced. I would imagine, since we kind of got this beginning thing out of the way. I would see sequels kind of kicking it up a notch. Hopefully, for me anyway. And I think they'd be more action packed than this first movie was. So I probably will like the sequels more. Just hope obviously they're going to be greenlit. I mean, it made a lot of money, so it's definitely going to be coming. Hopefully they take their time with it and not kind of like just rush it out real quick just to get it out to make some bucks.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to do here with the sequel. And even the third movie. So, should I go with what are we on? Number 3?
Number 3. Yep.
Number 3 for me is The Dark Knight. I like The Dark Knight a lot. I think that Heath Ledger's iconic as the Joker. I think that This is what do you call it?
Eckhart.
Aaron Eckhart, yeah, is fantastic as Two-Face, the best Two-Face that we have right now. And I mean, I do think I'm excited to see if Two-Face. That's actually another person that they said it could be at the end of the Batman is Two-Face.
Really?
Yeah, like, but I don't see that. I don't.
No.
I feel like that would be like a big reveal or something like that. Like you'd be able to see, that. But I don't think it's Two-Face at all. But I love this entire movie from the very opening. I like how Batman is established now as Batman. It's like he's out on the street. He's like I like the introduction of Batman in this movie when like all the guys are in like hockey pants and stuff and like they're trying to help him out, and he goes, what gives you the right? What makes you any different than you and me? I'm not wearing hockey pants. It's just like as the Batmobile's like closing and he just like looks down, he's like, well shit, he's fucking right. No, I mean, just there's so much good about this movie that a lot of the iconic scenes were actually, I know all the spots in Chicago that they were filmed. So I was actually on the street in January. My sister and her friend were visiting from Arizona, and what do you call it? We were just walking downtown and we were on the same street that the bus or that the truck flipped, like where
That's cool.
It's so cool. Like it's like perfect. Like the building still lights up exactly how it did in the movie. It's so cool. Like just to know that this is the street that was completely shut down for a whole week straight to get this scene shot. Like it's so cool. And then the tunnels that and there's also like right under the train where Bruce Wayne's driving in his Lamborghini and everything. Yeah, yep. most of the movie was filmed in Chicago. So Chicago is Gotham City in The Dark Knight, and I love it. I can point out I literally walk by because my office is downtown Chicago. I literally will walk by some of the buildings, and I'll walk by the one that's in the opening shot of the movie, like where
that's so cool.
Where the zip line comes out. It's like there's that building, and then it literally goes directly across to where the building was, where they were like. I just like look up, and I'm just like imagining them like zip line across. And I mean, Nolan is like that. That wasn't CG. That wasn't a CG building. That wasn't a green screen. Like
it's so cool.
People actually did that. Like it's fucking awesome. So, yeah, Dark Knight is definitely my number 3. And I'm confident with that. I'm confident with my answer that it's my number 3. But it's really good. I do like the Dark Knight art. And the scene when they're at the event, when they're at the Harvey Dent sponsored event where Joker comes in. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment. So it's like that whole scene, like he's a little fighting you.
I like that.
Then you're gonna love me.
He fucking has a knife in his shoe. I love it.
Oh, the whole scene is fucking amazing. Everything about it is so cool.
He's standing at the window. Let her go.
Yeah.
Poor choice of words.
Yeah, that's a very poor choice of words.
Throws her out the window. That's a good scene. I don't really have many complaints with any of the movies in the Nolan trilogy, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have any.
Nitpicks.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints either. None at all. I mean, I think that that The Dark Knight is iconic, and it always will be. So,
100%. My number 3 is a film that I have gained a lot more appreciation for and enjoyment, and I got to go with Batman Begins. Okay. I used to not. That was the one I would never watch out of the Nolan trilogy, ever. I would never want to reach for it. Didn't have any interest in watching it. And then upon rewatch it is so good. That's the movie of the 3 that's Batman's movie. That's not about the villains. That movie's Batman's movie. I love the way that we get to see him actually training, working with the League of Shadows. I love that whole thing. Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul was fantastic. I love that. I wish we would have got a little bit more Scarecrow. He was kind of just thrown in there. He really didn't have too much to do. I wish we would have got a lot more because the way he looked when he would put the toxins into you,
Yeah.
fucking creepy as shit with like the maggots and bugs falling out of his face and shit.
Mhm.
I just wanted more of that, especially when he's riding the horse and it's fucking blowing fire out of its fucking face. The fucking nerve toxin is amazing. Batman's so creepy whenever he's flying over the people, looking down and his eyes are glowing and everyone's all afraid. It's fucking a lot of appreciation for this upon rewatch for sure. The watching him mature as he goes, because obviously you don't think Ra's al Ghul beat the shit out of him multiple times. He couldn't even get any hits on him. And then he comes back at the end on the train. Fucking favorite part of that movie. I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you. And opens his fucking cape and then flies out the back of the train as the train crashes. Fucking goosebumps again. Fucking can't get enough of that part of that movie. I definitely appreciate it a lot more. It shows Gotham and more of its like ghetto side compared to the next two movies when it's all about the fancy stuff. Like this is the slums, this is the gritty, the grimy side of Gotham. And I like Katie Holmes as well. If I'm going to be honest, I prefer her as Rachel compared to Maggie Gyllenhaal. I wish she wouldn't have gotten replaced. I probably would have liked the Rachel character more, but I did like the Rachel character in this first movie, even though she was a confusing bitch and she kept like fucking luring Bruce on and be like, hey, if you're not Batman anymore, I like you. And then I'm going to give it up. And he's like, no, but I like you like Batman because you're sexy. Then, no, don't do that. Like, make up your fucking mind. You want him as Batman or not. So I think that kind of takes her character down a notch. But obviously, Gary Oldman, fantastic. Cillian Murphy, amazing. Liam Neeson. Fucking Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox. Fucking fantastic. Michael Caine. It's just amazing. And unfortunately, it has to go third because it is my third favorite in the Nolan trilogy. But I think number 3 is a very fair shake for Batman Begins.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely think that that's a good spot, for Batman Begins. Obviously, I haven't brought it up yet, so it's not. But yeah, I'll definitely give you my thoughts on it. But I think you hit a lot of great points as to why Batman Begins is your number 3. For me, my number 2 is the Batman.
Okay.
I like the Batman a lot. I like the dark vibe to it. I like how it feels like a mix of the video games, how it feels like the Long Halloween is literally it just that opening monologue alone feels like the Long Halloween. I like the Riddler a lot in this movie. I liked Colin Farrell as Penguin. There's just a lot that worked for me. The way that Pattinson felt like I was actually like kind of controlling him in a video game, like I just thought that it was great. I really enjoyed the Batman, and I gave a lot of reasoning as to why in the beginning of the stream.
Yep.
I mean the bat signal I think was clear as day in the sky. Like,
it looked good.
I think clearer than we've ever actually seen a bat signal in the sky. Like again, it felt like it was just the graphics of it was amazing. I will say I wish that we would have gotten a little more Bruce Wayne. Because there's really not a whole lot of him in this movie. That's definitely one thing that does kind of dock it just a little bit for me. Even though one thing I adore about this movie is that this movie actually acknowledges that Batman wears eye makeup underneath his mask. I love that. I love that because it's like there are scenes in movies like where like you can tell that he's in eye makeup, even in Batman Returns. There's a scene where I don't know if you've seen this or not, but there's a scene where Michael Keaton is literally his eyes are super black, and in the like it'll cut to who he's talking to. I think it's Catwoman. It'll cut back and it'll be gone.
Yeah.
And then he takes off, and it's because he has to take off his mask.
You're right.
I love how in the Batman, I love how attention to detail Reeves was as a filmmaker. I thought that it really worked because it's like he took off his mask, boom, there's the eye makeup. It's smeared on his face.
Yep.
You know, it just shows that they were so detail oriented, and I really liked that. You know, the one thing I do hope to see in the sequel, I hope to see more Bruce Wayne. You know, because I thought now we've seen Pattinson as Batman because he's Batman most of this movie. You want to talk about a Batman movie? This is a Batman movie, 100%. You know, he's Batman a lot. And I also like how it's not just another origin story. We find out through the dialogue that he's been Batman for 2 years. He's been, you know, he's been out for 2 years. He's trying to stop all the crime. The Riddler's on the loose. He's like trying to catch this guy. Very much a detective movie, very much like Matt Reeves said it was going to be. This movie was everything that the director said it was going to be. You know, so I think that it all worked. And I really enjoyed all of that. So I thought Pattinson was a great Batman. I thought that he could have been a little bit better of a Bruce Wayne, but I also think that it's because we didn't get a chance to spend a whole lot of time with Bruce. That's probably why it wasn't, you know, he wasn't necessarily as charismatic in this movie that I'm sure he will be in the later movies. I will say I loved the scenes when he was at the nightclub going to meet the Penguin.
Oh yeah.
Like how he shows up as Batman first and then the guy shuts the door and then he has to fucking beat the shit out of those guys to get in and get through. And then he shows up later on as Bruce Wayne.
They let him in.
Yeah, he goes like, you know who I am? Yeah, you're Bruce Wayne. Like, you know, and then they literally just let him in. Like it's awesome. So yeah, I mean the Batman, I love it. I love this movie. The Batmobile scene really is fucking top tier cinema. I mean, it's that scene alone is fucking incredible. So yeah, the whole thing is amazing.
I was gonna say that's probably one of my favorite parts when he's walking up after the Penguin's car wrecks and he's walking up to it in slow motion with the flames behind him. It looks fucking amazing.
Oh yeah,
the cape's blowing in the breeze. It looks so good.
Yeah, and I like how he literally just like leans down like on the car, goes, "It's time to talk." Like, you know, like, it's so good. So yeah, the Batman for me is number 2. I love this movie. I can't wait to buy it on 4K and watch it again. I want to go see it again this weekend. I really do. But the Batman is fucking it's amazing in my eyes.
All right, my number 2 would be The Dark Knight.
All right.
Which is very weird because I know if most people don't have the Batman at number 1, they probably have the Dark Knight at number 1. Most people, anyway. But I have it at number 2. Obviously, Heath Ledger's Joker, fucking amazing. I think he's better than Jack Nicholson's Joker, in my opinion. Definitely a different, more darker version of the Joker. But every time he's on screen, he steals the show. I'm a huge Christian Bale guy, so getting more Christian Bale and him as Batman, I dig it. I don't care about the voice. I like his voice. I've always liked his voice. Yes, it's probably a little over the top. I don't give a shit. I like it anyway. So that adds to it. Like we get more Alfred, more Lucius Fox stuff. You can't beat it. I mean, the Joker will kill anyone. He's the way he's yelling when he has that reporter. Who is Anthony Michael Hall, by the way? So that's pretty cool that he's fucking torturing Tommy Doyle up in there.
Yeah.
So I like that part. And he's like, "Look at me!"
Yeah,
fucking yelling at him. Love it. He's a fucking serial killer. He doesn't give a shit. The opening scene, like you said, that window blows out. The bank robbery job. I fucking love it. I kill the bus driver. The bus driver. Fucking bus comes in.
Yeah.
Knocks his ass right out.
I think the scene that's even better, or not the scene, the thing that's even better, makes that scene better, is like when the guy gets out and goes, "That's a lot of money. What happened to the other guys?" Just literally, just no hesitation. Not a single bit of hesitation. That shit was awesome. But yeah, like even the fucking reveal, like, I mean, you knew it was Joker just based on the hair alone.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Like, I mean, like just the reveal, I believe that whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you
stranger.
Yeah. And then like, yeah, like he just goes, like, he just laughs. Like, so
Gets in the
God,
fucking school
man,
bus and pulls right back out into the line of school buses. Fucking
literally.
so convenient.
Yeah, so convenient that the bus driver behind them couldn't see that either. Like, like,
Hey, damn, how'd that bus get in front of me with the fucking came out of the bank? Don't
yeah,
worry
like
about it.
how'd all that dust get all over that bus? Like that's interesting. So
Whenever, I'm not sure, is that the guy he takes? I think it's in this movie. Yeah, it's in this one. Whenever Batman takes that guy to that one drop, he's like, a fall from here won't kill me, right? Couldn't you pick a better spot? And he fucking drops him and breaks his legs.
yeah. Oh man, the Dark Knight it's an incredible movie, and I love the scene like with him and Two-Face at the hospital, like when they're talking,
Rachel!
Yeah, like he's like Rachel, like yeah, like he just like freaks out, but yeah, the whole movie is just it's amazing. It is like, and that finale is incredible. Like when he has the two fairies, and
Yes,
like they're debating whether or not they should have blown him up. And then that one, the big dude, the big prisoner, yeah, like
what's his name?
he says, "Give it to me," and
Give
I'll
it to
do
me.
something that you should have done
10
15
minutes
minutes ago.
ago.
Yeah, just like tosses it out the window, like yeah, it's fucking that whole fairy scene it's tense too. That's a tense moment because
Because
it's
you don't
like,
know who's gonna blow up who.
I know, it's like you're like watching like an entire group. You're watching two different groups of people, one that has all these prisoners on it and one that has all these civilians on it. And just in a way, it kind of like shows how humanity is. Like, it's like even the one guy, like the one civilian that goes, "No one wants to get their hands dirty, huh?
I'll do it.
I'll do it." Those men, they made their choice, and he's sitting there.
Can't do it.
Yeah, he couldn't do it. So that just shows, like, somebody will talk all this shit, and when it's time to hurt somebody else, let alone blow up a boat full of people,
Can't do it.
like, because like that means like literally blood would be on your fucking hands. Like they haven't blown them up either. Like, like you'd think that it would be easier for prisoners to, people who are like locked up, you'd think it would be easier for them to make a decision. That's why the writing there is so good. It is so good. That I just think that it's great writing.
You got to do everything yourself.
Yep. It's
but then that's why the next part of the movie drops it down a notch for me. When it goes back to the Two-Face stuff, for me, then it kind of drops back down. I wasn't a huge Aaron Eckhart fan. I thought he overacted the entire time. I didn't like the Two-Face storyline. So I think that's why I put it a notch down below. What are we on? We're on number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I put it a notch down below my number 1. But Heath Ledger's Joker just fucking owns the movie. And another great scene is whenever Batman has to go to Hong Kong to bring back Lau. Fucking flying around that fucking building, comes in, beats the shit out of all those guards, and then just grabs Lau, hooks onto the thing, gets sucked up to the guy. I thought that's a great scene as well.
Yeah, and that's not CGI either. That's all practical stuff. That's all like actually Christian Bale is like actually going from like building to building and stuff. Like it's fucking crazy. That's so crazy to me. Like, I mean, that's how Christopher Nolan likes to work. He doesn't like to use CGI unless he really needs to for something.
Well, it's good.
Like, I mean, it looks fantastic. The whole thing is such it's so well shot. And yeah, I mean, Christian Bale, like, I mean, this is chapter 2 of his 3-act play. And I mean, like, this is a very dark, a very dense chapter, and it all feels right, and I just think that Bruce Wayne is in a position to, like, even the part where he's sitting down and he's saying that he understands what he needs to become to defeat to defeat men like the Joker. And it's just it's him coming to terms what this job actually entails. Like, I mean, in Batman Begins, it's like he says that like that's why that plane ride from Batman Begins is so integral when he's talking to Alfred about how he wants to make a difference, about how he wants to, he's coming back now to save Gotham, but he can't do it as Bruce Wayne. But if he can be a symbol, or if like there could be like a symbol of something, then he can, maybe stand for and like bring justice to his city. And then it's like he really, like, he becomes Batman in Batman Begins, obviously, but in The Dark Knight, he really establishes himself as, okay, this is what the full purpose of this job is. And he comes to terms that he can never be with Rachel,
Nope.
like, I mean, he comes to terms with that, even Rachel's letter, like, to him saying that, I know I said that I would be with you when the world no longer needed Batman, but
I
that's
don't think
never going to change. So,
Rachel.
yep.
Fuck
So,
Rachel. So number 2, The Dark Knight for me. And what? Well, I already know what your number 1 is because it's the only one left. But what's your number 1?
oh, it's Batman Begins. It's Batman Begins. Batman Begins is my favorite because from the very opening of like establishing Bruce Wayne as a character, it's my favorite origin story. The origin story works perfectly for me. We understand why Bruce felt like, he needed to leave, and that was like in the beginning. Again, this is kind of one of those movies where you have to pay attention to, like you have, because in the beginning it jumps around a lot. There's him as a kid, and then he wakes up in the prison, and then it goes back to him arriving home from Princeton, and then we kind of see everything that goes on. Like, like at first when I saw this movie, like as a kid, I always just thought it was him coming back. But I'm like, oh wait, no, now he's back as like, he's back in he's back overseas, right? And then and then it cuts back to him actually coming back. So, there's a lot of stuff, and we understand that he gets arrested because he was a thief for stealing stuff. That's how he ended up in the jail and everything. And then he meets Ra's al Ghul, who brings him to the League of Shadows. Yeah. I love how Bane says that in The Dark Knight Rises. He's like,
We are the League of Shadows.
The League of Shadows. Like, I just love like that whole thing. But yeah, so we see his training. We see where he got all of the skill he needed to become Batman. We see him master his skill. And I mean, even like when Roz is like telling him, I can teach you to become invisible, and he goes invisible, and then it drops down like from the ceiling. That's so integral to remember as to why he's able to just disappear and stuff like that later on in the movie too. The writing in this movie is fucking perfect. I mean, the only issue I have is, yes, Rachel in this movie. Rachel can be a little over dramatic. She can be, I don't like the actress that plays her too much, So like, I mean, she is what it is, what it is. But other than that, and yeah, I do agree with you. I think that we should have gotten a little more Scarecrow in this movie, because every time he's on screen, it's fucking literally menacing. But at least as Scarecrow, right? I mean, even like the scene, like in that apartment, like when he goes, you know what I think? I think you need to lighten up, and he fucking like lights Batman on fire, and he like jumps out of the fucking building. Yeah. Like it's fucking that's intense, But I mean, like Batman Begins, it's a great origin story. I love the ending of the movie, like when Joker is hinted at for The Dark Knight. I mean, I just got chills, like literally at the end of that. I get chills at the end of the movie, like when it shows that, and he's like, I'll look into it. And then it just like shows it's got my favorite, I'd say, outro of the three, because it like shows him like jump off, spreads the wings, and then it just like has him zoom in, boom, cut to the credits. I think that's like a perfect ending to chapter 1 of the Dark Knight trilogy. And I mean, fucking Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul, like, I mean, Liam Neeson is literally great in everything that he's in, basically. And I just think that he's such a great villain in this movie. Even when Bruce saves his life, it's just such a shock to him later on as to, him coming back. And even though, like, in the beginning, they're talking about how Gotham needs to be destroyed because of what it's become and everything. And, he's there to pretty much fulfill that. There's just so much that is good about, Batman Begins, and just, I mean, everything that we talked about earlier with it, to even the jokes. I think that Michael Caine, I think either of us is yet to bring up Alfred. Michael Caine is my favorite Alfred.
Me too.
Just even like watching him find the Batcave, it's like I get chills now thinking about it. Like when he's like, that must be the earliest, like, mine or whatever, like of the earliest part of the foundation. And it's like, boom, exactly what that's going to become. Like, like you see it and you're like, that's the Batcave, So, and even when he turns on the lights and you see the bats like flying around, and Alfred goes, well, at least you'll have company. Like, So yeah, Batman Begins is my favorite Batman movie. I don't foresee it changing anytime soon. But yeah, it's my favorite origin story, and I think that we get the full origin, and the reveal of Batman is fucking great. I mean, it's like I like how we don't get a good look at him until he grabs Falcone and he's like, I'm Batman. Like it's fucking amazing. He goes, what the hell are you? And then like picks him up. I'm Batman.
I think it's right here, actually.
I'm Batman.
Yep.
I'm Batman.
Yep. I'm Batman. Just that whole fucking scene is amazing. Love it. And Batman Begins is my number one.
Oh, I like when he ties him to the fucking the light, and then he's like a abstract version of the Batman symbol in the sky. It looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Batman Begins. So that only leaves me with one more to go. I wonder what it could be. The Lego Batman movie, of course. That is exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good one. I can't
do like that.
It's fucking hilarious. It's so funny.
Good.
No, I don't want to do that.
Let's see. Let me see if I can get this.
Number one. Yep.
Is it working? I can't tell. Oh, it's covering our faces.
Let's not stand on ceremony here.
Mr. Wayne.
Mr. Wayne.
Oh, he's so good. The Dark Knight Rises for me. I know a lot of people actually don't like this movie at all. I don't understand the hate. I fucking adore the movie. For me, I like Tom Hardy as Bane more than I like Heath Ledger's Joker. That's just me. Honestly, a lot of people don't like the voice. I love the voice. I think Bane sounds incredible. I know they had to go back and fix a few things because it was kind of hard to hear, but I think he sounds amazing. He seems way more intimidating to me than the Joker was, because Bane could beat the shit out of Batman, which he obviously does when he breaks his fucking back and then busts my favorite part, when he busts the cowl off his face and starts walking away with that swagger and just drops it right on the ground, broken in half. I always wanted to buy that thing, but I never did. It looks fucking amazing. I want it. I think Tom Hardy owns, dude. I try to look at him and see if I can see Tom Hardy in there. Kind of can see him. And then to think that that's the same guy who plays Venom. And then I'm like, this guy right here was Bane. And like, and it's hard to imagine. But he got fucking jacked, dude. He was a fucking machine. Mm-hmm. Everything that happened in the sewers, I love all that. The elaborative plans he had to blow up the fucking tunnels and shit. Mm-hmm. Why did you bring him here? I was talking to you. Tom Hardy, exactly, Christian. Tom Hardy's Bane is fucking amazing. They nailed it. It's truly the comeback story. You think Batman is done. He's destroyed. He's fucking broken in half. And he fucking rises up. Yes, it seems very quickly and very convenient that he climbed out of the hole and then poof, he's back in Gotham like 2 seconds later. But it's a movie, so you can do those kind of fucking things. So people need to chill out.
Mm-hmm. I
But-
mean, I think that you're right, man. I think that I do love this movie. I fucking love it. It's really hard to kind of put all these in like a certain order because it's like
Yes.
this is the final chapter of the Nolan trilogy, but it's fucking epic. It's an epic final chapter. It's literally it's gripping from beginning to fucking end. I mean, it's like, and every time you see Bane on screen, it's insane. Like, you know,
he's fucking always walking around holding his fucking shirt like this. I fucking love it.
yeah,
Does it
yeah.
all day.
He does. He walks around like that, and just that final fight, like he goes, "So you came back to die with your city?" No, I came back to stop you. And then they just fucking start going at it. Or like, dude, when he fucking just like starts like punching Batman, like when he's actually starting to lose the fight and he's just like looking like a little boy, just like trying to like, you know, fight. And he fucking just like literally is punching the pillar with his bare hand.
He destroys it.
Just destroying it. It's fucking crazy. I also love the line in like when they're in the sewer, he's like, "You fight like young man." Like, you know,
But victory has defeated you.
yeah, it's fucking
That's pure like Batman's just he's fucking yelling, he's screaming down in that tunnels, but there's nothing he can do.
nothing.
Bane. I mean, Batman's been what? He's been what was it, 8 years?
Mm-hmm.
So he's been sitting up there. He is not like Alfred tells him, he's like, "You're not ready to fight him. You're not gonna do it." And he doesn't believe him. He's like, I've beaten people like him before. He's like, "Look at them, the velocity."
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Then he beats your ass.
Yeah. Then I mean, fuck, it's literally
Brutal.
It really is. And to answer Christian's question here, he says, "Braden, would you like to see a Bane solo movie like with Tom Hardy as Bane?" Fuck yeah. I mean, they're fucking moving forward with a Penguin TV show. Fucking give me a Nolan Bane TV show, please.
Oh my god.
I mean, please just do it. I mean, I'd love that. I would absolutely love that.
What did you feel about the Talia O'Ghul thing? How'd you feel about that?
I mean, I liked that. I mean, I thought that was fine. I think that it kind of took away from Bane just a little bit at the end.
Made him a puppet.
But yeah, like Bane was just kind of there, and Talia was like, you know, the mastermind behind everything, and she's like completing her father's work, and she needed Bane, and yada yada yada. I thought that kind of did like take the character of Bane and kind of put him in the back, you know. But yeah.
He's Bane. He's fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
He's Bane. There's so much. So I mean, that's just such a small gripe because I will admit that was something I didn't see coming at all. Like,
Nope.
that was a big shock to me at the very end of the movie. Like I was like, what?
He's like,
yeah, like I was
fucking twisting that knife in there.
Yeah, like I mean, I fucking love, and it's obviously became iconic. Like when he goes, "Where are they? You should never give a bomb to an ordinary citizen." Yeah, like I mean, it's or like, "Where is it?" Like, you know, I that's obviously become an iconic piece of cinema as well. Of Batman just literally whooping Bane's ass,
Kicking the
right at
shit
the
out of
end.
him.
I mean, like as soon as he punches the mask and that like it cracks and like that thing comes out, and you could just see him like, you know, like struggling. I'm like, oh, he's got him.
Just
You
keeps
know, and
punching
like
right in the face.
and yeah, Bane can't even fucking believe it. Like there's that scene like where they swing on each other, and like Bane is like he's like Batman's actually like fucking like holding him, and Bane can fucking not even believe that like Batman's able to actually like hold him right now. Like it's absolutely great writing, great directing, and I'm not gonna lie, I get a fucking smile on my face every single time. It's when Gordon's out on that ice and he sees the flare, and he's like, light it up. And then he sees Batman walk in, tosses it, and then the fucking bat on the bridge, and then you just get Bane. He's like, impossible.
He'll
Keep
come
her
for
close.
her.
He'll come for her. Yeah, it's fucking amazing. I just can't help but just smile and laugh and just it's not even a laugh, it's a chuckle at the fact that like Bane recognizes, oh shit, fucking Batman got out of his cave, and now he's not coming for Talia. He's coming for fucking
me.
you, bitch. Like, so
How? I broke you.
yeah.
You think you're the only one that can make the climb?
Yeah. Oh, it's literally
We
it's
we didn't even
literally
mention
amazing.
the fucking opening of the motherfucking movie.
Oh,
The freaking hijacking of that plane and blowing it up, taking the blood from that one guy, putting it into the doctor guy. That was fucking intense. They show that camera angle where Bane's like hanging on the seats and the camera's down below. Oh my gosh. That's an amazing scene. The music. If I take that off, will you die? It will be extremely painful for you.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He's like, you're a big guy for you. It's
Oh,
man, like,
epic opening.
yeah, this whole so do you have Dark Knight Rises on Blu-ray? I'm guessing.
Yeah, I do.
Have you seen the special features for it?
I have not.
You got to watch the special features because it shows how they did the plane sequence, and a lot of it is again bare minimal CGI. That plane or that scene did have some CGI, but a lot of it is just digital computer work to get the plane to tilt a certain way. But a lot of it is actually filmed in the air, like
So cool.
we're actually destroying a fucking plane. Nolan, that's what I love about his films, is that he does not like to use much CGI. There's CGI involved, of course, because I mean it's a fucking superhero movie. Not everything's gonna be, perfect, or you can't do everything that you'd like. But I mean, for the most part, scenes like that, he likes to actually do something incredibly realistic. So, yeah,
Can't beat it.
Can't beat Nolan, man. Nolan is one of the best filmmakers working today, and I cannot wait. I'm super excited to see Oppenheimer, his atomic bomb creator movie that he's got coming out. Yeah, I'm super excited to see what he's got coming. And I like Tenet a lot, and I like a lot of his other films as well. So
I think that's the bad thing, though. Like how the Batman came out and everybody loves it, and then now all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, Dark Knight was okay. It's not that good, dude. Just don't do that. Like, don't jump on the next best thing because it's new. You know, deep down, you still love the Dark Knight and the Nolan trilogy. Stop it. If it might not be your favorite anymore, but don't try to be like, no, I never really liked those movies. Christian Bale's a bad Batman. Blah blah blah. Don't.
That's false information, and I will fucking fight anybody on that. Like, I mean, honestly, I did anticipate going into the Batman, and I thought it was going to be my favorite, but after I got out, I was like, no, Batman Begins is still my favorite. So, I'm always going to stand by that because it is my favorite standalone Batman movie because it's such a great origin story, and it's like, so my wallpaper is actually the quote from the Dark Knight, and or not the Dark Knight, and it's the "Why do we fall?" and it's got Gotham, and it's so that we can learn to pick ourselves up. It's been my wallpaper for almost a whole year, and I just refuse to change it because it's like such a great quote. And I just think that that's true. It's like, life is literally about falling and learning lessons so that way you can get your ass back up and continue, to move forward. And it's fucking the whole Nolan trilogy. There's a lesson to be learned in every single movie. It's like in the first one, it's like you want to make a change. And the second one, it's the first one is like you want to make a change and like you're becoming the person you want to be, and like you're symbolizing yourself as for who you want to be. The second movie is more of you're establishing yourself as this character, like, and then something happens and you realize, fuck, like this is hard, like, I mean, you're really understanding what the fuck like you need to do. And then, you literally fall flat on your face at the end of the second one, and then you get your ass back up and you fucking got to finish this thing. So that's what it is. And I love it. I think that it is the perfect Batman trilogy. I don't know if this Batman trilogy is going to be perfect. I can only judge this based off of one movie. Love Matt Reeves as a filmmaker. He's got the potential to make the best Batman trilogy. But as of right now, I do think that Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy is the best trilogy, or the best Batman movies to date, like in terms of one cohesive story. So
yes, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't. I think for me, Christian Bale's my Batman, and the Dark Knight trilogy that's my Batman stories, and I probably will never ever change. I doubt it because I always go back to those ones. They're amazing. All three of them are great, and like you said, one cohesive story that goes throughout. And I love Christian Bale. I don't know, a lot of people don't. I do, and it's not that I have anything against Robert Pattinson. And if you guys like Robert Pattinson better, that's fine too. I mean, there's a Batman for everybody, so don't fucking hate on people because they like one movie or the other. We can all like different things and fucking, have our conversations and our debates, and then go on with our fucking lives. So much hate. I've been noticing that a lot, like a lot of fucking hate for Christian Bale and Ben Affleck sucks and blah blah blah. Like, come on, guys. It's a fucking movie. It's good. It's good. If it's bad, it's bad. I mean, come on, guys.
And I mean, really, nobody should fucking get shit for liking a certain thing that they like. Honestly, fuck, if somebody likes Batman and Robin,
good for them.
Fucking, if someone says that that's the best Batman movie ever, who the fuck am I to tell them that it's not? Like, I mean, I'll just say, hey, you know what? I respect your opinion, but
more for you.
Like, yeah, like it's. I mean, nobody should get hate for liking whatever sort of movie it is that you like. Then it's just what you like. It's your taste, Like, I mean, that's it. Like, people try to comment on shit and like hurt people's feelings, saying your opinion's wrong. Your opinion's not fucking wrong.
It's your opinion.
It's your opinion. It's why it's called an opinion. It's not a fact. A fact is a fact. Like, if I came on here and said fact, Batman Begins is the best Batman movie of all time, period, then I mean that's completely wrong. That's not even a fact. Like, and I said if I was just on here shitting on Matt for literally fucking saying that, oh, his opinion's wrong or whatever, like, no, like, I'm not gonna do that.
It's real. Everybody got an opinion. If you don't agree, oh well, we'll get over it.
Exactly. So, like, I mean, I just personally think Batman Begins is the best one. So, and Christian Bale is always going to be my Batman. Even if I ranked, like, it has nothing to do with the way I rank the movies, but Christian Bale is my favorite Batman, period. Pattinson is like my second. Batman, at least. Bruce Wayne, no. But Batman, like, because like there are two different things that you can rank. You can rank the Batmans and you can rank the Bruce Waynes.
Yeah.
So, who was the best Bruce Wayne? In my opinion, it was Christian Bale too. So, you know what? Like, that's just me. That's just me. So that's my opinion. Like, I think that he did a great job at living that double life, especially in that first movie. Like, when he was like that snarky billionaire, like, and then again in Batman Begins, like how he's like sitting there and the two women that he brings to the dinner, and he's like, anyone that dresses as a bat clearly has issues, and then the two women, they get in the pool, and then the
it's okay.
The waiter comes over and he's like, this is not a matter of money. He goes, oh, no, you don't understand.
I bought this.
I'm buying this hotel and I'm making a lot of changes to the pool area. So, like, I mean, like, just that he plays off the snarky rich, just like, I love all of that. So,
Golford's dog, what's up? He says, I haven't seen the new one yet, but so far The Dark Knight is my favorite live action. Everything related to the animated series is the best overall. That's what I hear, actually, but I've never seen any of those. I put a poll in the chat before we started, and the number one Batman film in the poll actually came out to be The Batman 2022 with 46%.
Wow.
Followed by The Dark Knight with 31%, Batman Begins with 15%, and Batman 1989 with 8%.
Wow, Dark Knight Rises ain't even on there.
Nope.
Jeez. What's with all the hate for The Dark Knight Rises?
Fuck jerks. Ruining everything. Now I'm going to go to bed and cry. And I'm going to put a rant post later on Facebook. So fuck you guys. It's they're all good. I mean, you can't really go wrong. See, unless you pick, well, it's opinions again. Unless you pick Batman or Robin. Batman Forever. Other than that, you're doing okay. But that was actually I've never done anything superhero related on the channel before, so Well, besides my Batman shit that I was just doing recently. So this was a first. I don't really know that much about superhero stuff. I mean, I watch the movies and stuff, but I'm not like a super diehard into them. But Batman's the best. Well, maybe. I like Iron Man a lot too, so I don't know.
Okay, well, you can have a favorite Marvel and DC, you know.
Iron Man and Batman. There you go.
Yeah, like, you know, so Batman is just my favorite literally of all time. Like I love, and I also like I also have a soft spot for Iron Man too, because I mean these are both guys that are not superhero. They're not real they have no superpower. They're both just geniuses that want to make a difference. And that's what I fucking love. You know, like I mean, that's just it. Like that's why I respect Batman so much for literally fighting a fucking god that can destroy the fucking planet if he wanted to. Like, I mean, it's wild. I mean, even with Iron Man going up against Thanos, he has no fucking superpower. He's fighting.
Did it
literally? Like, I mean, that's what I mean. It's
don't do it. Don't you snap those fingers, you fucker.
Yeah, I know. So.
I ain't gonna lie. When I seen it for the first time, I did cry. Okay.
Oh, I cried.
He fucking died, and I was like, "Come on, man!" And then whenever Spider-Man came back and they're hugging and shit, I freaking cried. Then, man, it was it was an emotional movie. And it's a fucking good movie too. Joshua Parker says these two sexy bitches. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
I didn't even wear my Batman shirt either. I was going to, but I was so excited with the Denver Broncos.
Denver news. Yeah, Russell Wilson. Look at you guys, man.
I was so excited by that, so I had to represent.
I know. Look at you.
Oh, fucking. Well, he passed his physical and everything, and I know he's already in Denver now, so it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's good for us. Who do you guys? Oh, you got fucking Fields.
Yeah, Justin Fields.
Yeah, he's good. Not
see what else we're gonna. I mean, we've got a new head coach this year. We got a new GM. I'm hoping that we can pull the fucking string and let's do it. So,
just beat Aaron Rodgers, please.
Yeah, right.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But that was fun, dude. And that was actually the first time you were on the channel by yourself, because the last time you were on is whenever we had the big fucking group.
Yeah. So, you know, hey, I appreciate you having me on, man. I really do. So
thanks, man. It was fun. It was nice to see how actually similar we actually were.
I know, right? Up until like the top 4, and then it just kind of like, you know, but I mean, all of them, I mean, I think the one thing that we agree on is all the movies, like, you know, have good, it's got, I mean, Nolan's barely has any bad to it. So, you know, but yeah, like it was interesting to see like where all of it ranked. So
that was awesome, dude. I appreciate you coming on. It means a lot. And I'm sure we'll collab down the line as well again, hopefully in the future.
Oh, for sure, man. Well, hey, I appreciate it. Everyone that came out tonight to watch and listen, thank you.
Hell yeah.
And I hope everyone has a great rest of your guys' week, man.
Yeah, I'm Batman, so fuck you guys.
I'm Batman.
Yeah. You do that at a job interview. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's going to work out very well for you.
Lift the guy up and be like, I'm Batman. Like, get the fuck out. Okay,
yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. Then he says that you just headbutt him like he did fucking, you know.
Get the fuck out. But,
yeah.
Good shit. All right, buddy. You have a good night.
Guys. All right, you guys too. See ya.
Peace.
Boy. Fuck. Like, hit me with the